everybody, Paul Hickey here with Data Driven Design. I'm very, very excited to do this vlog today. And I want to start by saying something that I always kind of tell myself, which is anytime there's like a wish on your birthday or you see the clock at 11:11, make a wish, those kinds of moments. This is kind of cheesy, but sometimes even when I see the moon out in the middle of the day, where you can see the moon and the sun at the same time, I consider that good luck, and so I make a wish. And the thing that I always wish for in those scenarios is good health and happiness for myself and my family. And so I want to start by saying that on a personal note, but also that I wish that for all of you right now and always. I think that will probably be something that I lead most conversations with moving forward. And I want to talk today about, business. I think that this talk will be applicable for a long time. And I'll get to some punchlines about, sort of what I think is the new world of business and everything like that post-pandemic. But I'm less about making predictions, and I'm more about just kind of feeling and tasting and touching things and trying things, and then just continuously making decisions based on what's happening. And so before I get into some of the decisions that I've made recently in the end of Q1 2020, the end of Q1 2020 will go down as a time where all businesses had to make tough decisions. But before I get into that, I want to kind of rewind and do a little recap of where I was previous to Q1 2020, and kind of taking it all the way back to about 2005, 2006, when I first started my own website, my own digital business called nooffseason.com. And the big thing for me back then was creating content. And so starting in like 2005, I started creating multiple pieces of content every day for the web, and just taught myself through doing that digital marketing. So creating a piece of content, letting people know that content was out there, letting people know why I thought they should read a particular piece of content, why I thought it was interesting to them. And that just became a huge obsession, passion of mine, just something that I just love as much as I love working out, as much as I love doing anything else by myself. That is one thing that I love doing by myself, is creating content. That's probably one of my biggest hobbies. So yeah, just got into the muscle memory of creating content every day. And then some of you may be familiar with this, but with Data Driven Design, when I started Data Driven Design in late 2016, I started creating content every day in the blog, dataoveropinions.com. And so, some of that content is personal related, motivational related, about 10 to 15% of it, but about 85 to 90% of it is digital marketing tips, stuff that business owners and marketers need to know about and need to know how to do, and they're searching how to do, and they're asking me multiple times a week how to do different things, and so I'm putting out content about that. And so I think the biggest question that I've had to answer to my own self in the last 8 weeks, which for those of you watching this video was say early March to early May 2020, is why haven't I wanted to put out content? Why haven't I put out content rather? And the answer is because I haven't wanted to, but that wasn't enough of a good enough answer for me. The reason I don't want to has always really never stopped me from putting out content. So it's actually been more than that. I think it's been partially that I haven't wanted to, but the reason why I haven't wanted to is because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel authentic at all when I started to put out some content at the beginning of March about what businesses should do in a pandemic and what updates there were about what businesses were doing in the face of COVID-19 and all that stuff. It didn't feel to me authentic to be spending my time on that. And so I just knew that the content wasn't going to be that good. And also, I wasn't going to feel right about it, even more so. And then bigger than that, there were some tough business decisions to make at Data-Driven Design, like I'm sure there have been with every business. I'll just briefly touch on that. So this is one thing that I've been wanting to put out content about, and at what I think is the appropriate time, and I think the appropriate time is now. We basically, even though we're a fully remote work team that's capable of delivering projects for any kind of company, any kind of size of project, no project too big or too small in the digital realm related to web design, digital marketing, voice application creation on top of Alexa and on top of Google Assistant, and then custom software applications, mobile applications. And we've been a fully remote work team since 2016, already using tools like Google Drive, Dropbox, Basecamp, Slack. I mean, we live on all those tools, Zoom. We've used every single kind of conferencing software imaginable, and we've mastered it. And we mastered the flow of not having an office. It wasn't that affected our business like other businesses were affected. It was the fact that like 75% of our clients weren't open. And so because of that, they just stopped everything. And I saw it coming probably around right at the beginning of March. So I started talking to my team about it, a team that I really, really love and would not trade for anything if I didn't have to. But the reality was, as a business owner, our business is predicated around what we have from a ongoing retainer standpoint, what projects we have lined up in the queue, what money we have in the bank, and then what we have in accounts receivable. And so after about 75% of our clients and almost 100% of our projects in the queue basically said, we're done, we're not doing this, I just could not afford to keep the senior level team that I had. And so had to communicate that decision to clients and to the team, and basically just try and support everybody as much as I could through that, and of course deal with that myself. I was less concerned with myself. I was trying to be as good of a teammate as I could to everybody else. These are people that I still intend to keep in the mix and keep positive relationships with forever, hopefully. But yeah, just could not afford to keep their salaries on payroll. And so the company had to go down to basically just myself. My wife, Kate, is extremely talented. She's on our team as well. So she's working for Data-Driven Design. But, everybody's kids' schools got canceled. And so we're no different than everyone else. So we had to, as parents, make a decision about, trying to give our kids a quality experience at home. And so Kate had to sacrifice a lot of her job and job responsibilities with the company, meaning that essentially, so that we could be paying attention to our kids and not just letting them do whatever they want at home. And so what that meant is basically that I had to make decisions around how to spend my time, because now all of a sudden, as a business owner, I'm looking at a slew of projects that still needed to be finished that I had not forecasted being able to finish by myself from a web design and digital marketing standpoint. A slew of software projects that still needed to be finished, which I just don't personally have the skill set to do all by myself. But then these are clients that had already paid us for the most part. A little bit of outstanding payments to bill, but for the most part, it's like you could see the finish line, and most of the project had already been paid for, and then of course what I wanted to spend my time on is like, where do we go next, right? And then with an event that we created at Data Driven Design called the Nashville Voice Conference. Like, now what happens to that? We put a lot of effort into that. No one's really looking like the events are going to be the same ever again, at least for a few years. And so what happens to that was a huge thing that I knew I needed to deal with. So a few different kind of clouds looming over my head as a business owner. And, I just basically had to break things down into compartments. And so one compartment was, look, I'm not going to create content for a while. So however long that's going to be, I'm not going to try to create content and act like everything's one way when it's just not that way. That just doesn't feel right. So I'm gonna compartmentalize the content creation thing, and I'm gonna put that to just whenever I can get to it. Like, whenever it starts to feel right, I'm gonna do it. And so that took about 8 or 9 weeks, and here we are. So I'm happy to be back creating content. The other compartment was, obviously, like, dealing with the communications of the clients and the employees, and helping make the crazy no fun transition that nobody wanted to make, nobody thought was going to happen to the best of everyone's ability. And thank goodness that the people that are part of the Data Driven Design family that are no longer full-time employees are just such great people. I just can't say how thankful I am to everyone, and I will always do whatever I can to help you guys out. And thank you for helping us get to where we are today. So that was a huge thing, and thank you to Kate for helping me with all of that. That was, I couldn't have done that without Kate and some other friends, and then the team. The team just handled it with such grace and class, and I'll always be there for you guys. And then the clients, so with those two compartments kind of out of the way, quote unquote, I had to focus on the third compartment, which is just finish the client projects to the best of my ability. And with the money that was left after clearing payroll in April, so just to recap, March was everyone's last month full-time with the company. So I ran that month's payroll. Luckily, I was in a position where I did have some cash flow to support my family coming out of that, and to pay some contractors to help me with some specific things that I wasn't able to do myself. And I'm very proud of the fact, obviously, that I do have a skill set that allowed me and is allowing me to do, I would say, 90 to 95% of the work at the company by myself. And that's been good as a practitioner. That's been a positive as a practitioner for the last 8 to 9 weeks, to be able to have that and execute projects and get back into working directly with clients. That's been a positive thing. I've needed that, and I hope that the clients have felt that it's been more positive than it has been negative. We've accomplished a lot together, and I really want to thank all of the clients for just kind of going through that with me, and understanding that data-driven design is different now. It's never going to be the same ever again, but it is going to still strive to be, the first-class organization that I was able to bring on, and bring on the family members that I call them, that are no longer full-time employees, that helped me make it that way. So my goal moving forward is to continue to make data-driven design a quality organization, to not stop doing what I'm doing, and to find good people to work with. And it'll be under a new business model, but other than that, not much is changing. So we're adapting to the new economic circumstances, and what I've learned over the last 8 to 9 weeks about how to be more efficient and effective is totally different than what we were doing previous to the last 8 or 9 weeks to be efficient and effective. I mean, it's just totally different. One of our differentiators is we love change, and no other time period, at least that I've been working in the working world, has we love change been needed as much as it's needed now. We love change, and I love change. Even when the change sucks, you have to love change to survive. And so the decisions that were made were hard decisions, but they were the right decisions. And now we're in a new economy. And I'm looking forward to helping people as much as I can build their businesses in this new economy. It's going to be totally different. And a lot of people are, I'm really, really thankful for this. A lot of people are asking me to be part of like online panels to talk about this. And I'm happy to talk about it, but the reality is I don't know all the answers yet. I'm still trying to figure things out. So, you know, I felt good creating this piece of content, and these kinds of topics may be something that I continue to talk about. Definitely bringing back the data-driven daily tip though. I've definitely learned that I think that that's necessary. I think it's needed. I like doing it. At first, at the beginning of the whole quarantine thing, I was like, there's no way that businesses are going to care or they're going to want this. And then actually very quickly going back into doing a lot of the work on the projects with clients, it was very clear to me that there are some data-driven daily tips in the future that need to come out that are going to be very, very helpful for people. So I look forward to continuing to build the company. I don't regret any of the decisions that I made because they had to be made. They were the right decisions to be made. And while I do definitely feel empathy for everyone, and I want to try to show that, I'm excited about the future. I really am. I'm excited about the future. And again, I wish everybody good health and happiness. That's the most important thing. And I'm trying to build my business around that. I'm trying to build my business around good health and happiness. So whatever I can do to help you out, definitely let me know. You can always email me at paul@datadriven.design, and we'll see what happens. Thanks, and have a great day.